Hey everybody, and welcome to another Jasp tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to go ahead and talk to you about doing an analysis of covariance and ANCOVA. And so let's jump right into it. Before we do, Jasp 0.14.1 is the current build available on Mac and PC, and so that is the one that I am using for this video today. All right, let's open up some data. Okay, so I've gone ahead and opened up the data file called Viagra. It's in the data library under ANOVA because unlike Jamovi, Jasp does come with ANCOVA already built into the ANOVA module. So we are going to go ahead and do that. So this is a very simple setup, very simple data set. We have 3 variables and 30 cases. 3 variables, 30 cases. We have dose, so a placebo, low dose, and a high dose, I'm assuming, of Viagra, or the little blue pill, right? And we have our libido, so that is the sexual drive, and then the libido of my partner. And so we are going to determine whether or not partner libido has anything to do with overall libido when we account for dose. So let's do that. So to do an ANCOVA in Jasp, you go up to ANOVA, you click on that, and it's right underneath ANCOVA, just above MANOVA. And so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to open up this new window here. And you can see that there's some descriptives, there's some ANOVAs, and there is the original ANCOVA because I opened up not only the data file, but I also opened up the Jasp file, which has the output. But we are going to do it ourselves. And you can see some of that output right here. But what I want you to focus on is this ANCOVA here. Okay, so we're going to do libido as our dependent variable. Remember, dependent variables in ANOVA's analysis of variances must be continuous. Our fixed factor is either nominal or ordinal, so that's going to be dose. And then here's where our covariates go. So here's where the covariates in my model are going to go. But before I do that, I want to point out the source table. Nothing else about this has been selected. I do want to point out the source table. And here we see that dose by itself is not a significant factor in libido overall. So there is no differences between high dose, low dose, or the placebo overall. But when we put the covariate in of partner libido, watch what happens to this source table. So here we have dose. Ooh, that p-value went down. Partner libido also is significant, so we'll talk about that. So let's add in a couple of options here. Descriptive statistics and estimates of effect size. We'll do eta squared and partial eta squared. In my model, I don't need to change anything because there's nothing really to change unless I wanted to take a model out of a term. I'm going to go ahead and get homogeneity tests and QQ plots of the residuals just to show, and we'll scroll up because those things are going to come in here. So we'll close that. I don't need any post-hoc. Well, I guess I could use a post-hoc test because we have more than two levels of our independent variable, and we're going to go ahead and grab Tukey and Bonferroni. And if you think I'm going a little bit too fast on this, I spend quite a bit more time in my ANOVA Jasp video. I'll go ahead and target that one here for you. That should be a card up there in the top right corner. So we're going to grab that, and we'll go ahead and grab our descriptive plots. We'll put dose on the x-axis there, and then we will get separate lines for... Oh, we don't need separate lines, sorry, because that is a covariate. And we want to get our display bars and error bars. I'm going to make them standard errors because I think that's the best way to show uncertainty on these kinds of graphs. And we'll go ahead and grab marginal means for dose as well. Our post-hoc test is going to show us that too. And we don't need any other things because there's no interaction term, so we don't need simple point effects. And it's likely that we're fine as far as tests are concerned, so we don't need non-parametric. So let's take a look at this output here. So we have dose, which is our independent variable, and that changed. Right? Our F got bigger, so our P got smaller. And then partner libido, which is the covariate here. And so the covariate, what that is going to do is that's going to partial out the variance associated with libido that my partner might have and see whether or not that particular variable is correlated or explains some variance in my libido as somebody. This is an awkward thing to talk about on a YouTube video, but my libido, regardless of dose. So we're going to try to see if a person's libido, the DV, can get variance partialed away from partner libido. So then we are left with only, hopefully, the variance for dose. That's what we're trying to determine. And it looks like that is the case. So yes, there is a significant covariate of partner libido. So there is a significant portion of variance in the DV that is explained by the covariate, which then leaves just the variance related to dose, and that makes that particularly significant as well, right? And so you can see here what happens. So these are just the means, and you can see that the libido is increased with either dose, high or low, versus a placebo. And we would have seen this shape, but we would not have seen that there was any difference because these error bars showing the differences in standard errors for each of these point estimates would have been too big. So what we were trying to do with doing the ANCOVA is take away some of that variance to reduce the standard error around each of those point mean estimates. And so that's what it is. Looks like we are fine as far as the assumption checks are concerned. Quality of variances across groups is fine. I usually would consider that to be fine. I don't use 0.05 as my criterion there. QQ plot also shows that we are fairly decent on residuals. There's a little bit of movement away from the standard line up at the top second and third quantile, but that's not bad. Most of the data is pretty close to that standard line. And you can see here placebo versus high-low, and low versus high. So we've got placebo versus high, low versus high. Don't know why there is a comma there, but that's all right. And so you can see that if we look at this, then the difference is between placebo and high. And there really isn't one. And so if we scroll back up to the plot, we can see that this is a little slightly higher, and it is, there you go. It doesn't look like it, but it is. We'll trust the tests on that one. And if you wanted to plot, you would plot these. So these are the values that are plotted over here, and that is what you see right here. Perfect. Lovely. Wonderful. And that's how you do an ANCOVA in Jasp. If you like this content, consider leaving a like. If you stay tuned for more Jasp videos, consider subscribing. And until the next video, thanks for watching.